Tinubu shouldn't encourage armed militia, Sani. Sani, a former Nigerian senator, activist, and author, has reacted to the trending video of Asari Dokubo parading with armed militias after he returned from Saudi Arabia. On Twitter, he said, "I don't know if the trending video is real or fake, but in any case, President Tinubu must not directly or indirectly allow or encourage the rise of state-backed private armed militia. They are viruses for the destruction of any country. A fragile country like ours does not need a private army. The country's armed forces, police, and other security agencies have the experience, capacity, and competence to provide all the necessary protection the president and the government needs." Recall that Asari Dokubo has previously stated that his men are responsible for security across the region and there is an ongoing war in the country. That is very interesting because this is a private militia thing going on with Asari Dokubo, who's had the ex-Niger militants thing that he was leading. But in the case of some people who decide to come up with their own security network, it becomes a problem in a terrorist organization. Very interesting. Well, he disclosed that he works for the government, and with the help of his men, many roads and regions have been safe and secure to travelers. He advised the government to avoid releasing Nnamdi Kanu, citing that his release will only bring more problems. It's very interesting because this is somebody who, showed that he was even, made very insulting comments towards the Igbos. But of course, is it a coincidence that he's in a position to advise Aso and work closely with Tinubu? It's not a surprise. But yeah, Sani is absolutely right in the sense that we have seen that under APC and obviously Tinubu, a strategy and a card that was played was clearly the religious and ethnic card. And whilst you might say that was you might say it looked unintentional on their part, you can't deny its effect. And so Sani is also giving a warning because the government can directly or indirectly not blatantly say but support or encourage private military. I mean, you see, the way I see Asari Dokubo is basically a big baby, like an immature person who, when say power can get into the wrong hands, he even looks like the wrong hands, right? Because that is someone who you don't want to encourage. Asari Dokubo is a person and his whole thing. I mean, if we're going to directly say what Sani means, well, in my opinion, don't encourage this man, because with the encouragement of the government, the worst is going to come from Asari Dokubo, of course. With the way he carries himself, with the way he speaks, the derogatory things that he said, it's the same thing how the government has, induced and brought out the conscious and unconscious prejudice towards Igbos and how it has been intense this period. It's the same way that Asari Dokubo, yes, he might be a meme, you might laugh, and he will say derogatory things here and there, but with the right backing, the right influence, encouragement, the worst is going to come from him. He even looks like it. He has given you signs. And I think these are reasons these are things I think Nigerians need to be aware of in terms of keeping themselves informed and prepared. The same thing with Tinubu, right? Tinubu, someone comes and tells you that they believe it's their turn to be president, and that is the key message behind their campaign. he gets into office and starts inducing policies here and there with, again, no long-term plan, no explanation, nothing, right? And then Nigerians want to react. But you cannot react because in his campaign, he gave you all the signs that when he gets there, he will give no toss of how Nigerians feel or what is important. And again, they cannot fake with this whole palliative nonsense because it just shows that it seemed like a solution they came up with under 5 minutes to get Nigerians to shut up. Honestly, that's what it looks like. And to be honest, that's probably what it is. But the signs were already there. And it's the same thing with Asari Dokubo that I'm drawing comparison to. With the things he said, right? With the way he blatantly hates the Igbos, let's call it what it is. And he makes comments that go, unchecked, especially on public platforms. So now, imagine with further encouragement from Tinubu and his private militia obviously growing, what do you think Asari Dokubo will be capable of? Because when he should start, Nigerians cannot come and say, how can he do this? Blah, blah, blah. My dear, you should have seen it coming. Put what you think and don't forget to like and subscribe.